Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where every day is range day. Today, I'm going to be taking you through a quick tutorial on how to paint a pump shotgun with minimal disassembly. I'm going to be taking my unpainted Mossberg 500 that I just bought for duck hunting and give it a paint job worthy of any duck hunt. So, let's get started. Before we get any further into the video, always make sure that when you start painting with your shotgun that it is in fact unloaded. First off, I'm just going to wipe the exterior of the shotgun down with a clean cloth. I used to use some rubbing alcohol or some other solvent to clean the exterior, but I'm not going to stress it too much. I'm just going to make sure it's free of any debris. I'm also trying to do this with as little disassembly as possible, so the only thing I'm really going to do is unscrew the barrel nut here and take the barrel off. The reason is so I could tape up the pump brackets and the part of the tube that's going to have the pump going over it, because I want to make sure there are no malfunctions with the shotgun once it's painted. And this part is arguably the most important part. I'm going to go ahead and tape up anything that moves or anywhere I don't want paint. I'm also going to tape up the ejection port, and first I'm going to put a little bit of tape on the bolt itself. That's just going to ensure that no paint gets inside the heart and working parts of this shotgun. I also taped up the trigger guard, which really isn't necessary, but I just wanted to make sure the trigger didn't get painted. And the pump release as well. I put a little bit of tape over it. And I also put some tape over the loading port on the bottom of the shotgun where the shells go into the tube. After that, go ahead and replace the barrel and lightly tighten down on the castle nut. After that, I went ahead and put some tape over the bead sights on the shotgun. Again, probably not necessary, but I prefer to keep that gold and ivory color so I have some contrast when I'm out in the field hunting. And lastly, put a little bit of painter's tape over the end of the barrel, that way you don't paint the choke that's inside and prevent you from taking it out in the future. After everything's taped up, go ahead and apply the base coat. For this, I'm using some Rust-Oleum Camo Khaki. Make sure that the base paint covers all parts of the firearm, as this will be the most crucial for weatherproofing it and setting the foundation for the rest of your camo pattern. After you do one side, give it some time to dry, about 30 minutes, and then flip it over and paint the other side. After letting it dry about an hour, it's time to get some stencils on. First, I'm going to be using this woody patterned stencil, which I got offline, and using this flat brown Rust-Oleum. Use as much or little of this as you want, but you want to make sure you get some good patterns and some good contrast to break up the outline of your shotgun. And don't be too critical of how well you do during this, because you can use other layers of stencils to cover up your sins. Like the base paint, give one side about 30 minutes to dry, flip it over, and then rinse and repeat. After letting that layer dry, I'm going to go ahead and put on the last layer of stencils. For this, I'm going to use some grassy stencils, one with cattail and one without. I'm going to use two colors for these stencils, a lighter army green and then a traditional olive drab. Both are also Rust-Oleum Camo. First, I did the lighter colored green. And then I went over it again with the darker olive drab to create some contrast. Let one side dry, flip it over, and then finish off the stenciling on the other side. Let the gun dry overnight just to make sure the paint really settles in and starts secure. Then go ahead and start removing some of the painter's tape. I went ahead and started with the sections I was less precise with, just making sure I covered up the parts that I didn't want painted. I noticed that I over-taped the ejection port here, and making sure that I got all parts of the gun covered in paint that I wanted, I took a stencil and keeping the tape on the bolt itself just to be safe, I took the stencil and blocked off the bolt, leaving only the pattern over top of the section I still needed the paint, and then just applied a light coat. I did this on the ejection port as well as the loading port. Then letting those final touches dry, I went ahead and took the barrel off and removed the rest of the tape. After you get the rest of the tape off, go ahead and reassemble the barrel and screw in the castle nut. Go ahead and check to make sure everything is functioning correctly, and if so, you have one sexy looking shotgun. So there you have it, folks. Now you have a beautifully painted shotgun. And if this video helped you, please leave us a thumbs up and let us know down in the comments below. If you like this kind of video and you want to keep up with the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we drop new videos. This has been Mac with Range Day, where every day is Range Day. Thank you for watching.
There's none of that. So what's the freaking point?
You want to explain this, dude, Hickey?
No, not really at all. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm not very intelligent. I'm trying to get there.
Oh. Self-burn.
Self-burn, those are rare.